as I was walking my dog.
Oh my gosh.
And it was awful. I mean, I've talked about it multiple times. And look, I don't want to put myself in this position of being like this victim who's looking for empathy, but it is the moment where something very scary happened to me. And
why did that?
It wasn't just that had happened to me. It was the reaction I received from a faction of the left, okay? The social justice left, if you want to call it that, who think that, you know.
Anna Kasparian was shamed by the left after she complained about being attacked, and now after leaving the left, Anna Kasparian is ripping her once former home party for how they treated her when she exposed her assault and more as she sits down with Glenn Beck to talk about the insanity that has taken over and is now ravaging cities and democratic states to the detriment of the people and society. So let's check out this clip with Anna Kasparian and Glenn Beck.
In some cases, the criminals are actually the victims, and the victims are the criminals. Like, it's insane. And I don't know how big this faction is, but they're loud enough to push me away completely. And so it wasn't that had happened to me. It was the reaction of the left and how they were far more concerned with me talking about it because they felt that was stigmatizing the homeless community. I have never gone out of my way to say negative things about homeless people. I mean, people who are living out on the streets are, in a lot of cases, victims who need help, right?
Yes.
But I was victimized by a guy that was strung out on something, could have been meth, you know, he was jerking around as he was walking toward me with his buddy. And
gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't.
Yeah,
it's
okay. It's okay. But it took a while for me to get over that because I still have to walk my dog. And so multiple times a day, I literally have to think about that incident. And so I thought maybe it would help to talk about it. And then when I did talk about it, I totally regretted it because I was shocked at the way people reacted to me. But what that moment taught me was some of the characteristics of the quote unquote left that I thought were good, right? Like the kindness, the open-mindedness, the, you know, willingness to go out of your way to look out for people who need help, like that kind of stuff. There's a portion of the left that has shed those characteristics. They've taken on a more nihilistic approach to things. And they don't even believe in reforms. They just believe that everything about every political system, every program we have, every institution we have is just worthless and we need to burn it all down.
Now, Anna Kasparian is right. There is the far left who really, exactly as Anna Kasparian just explained, they just want to burn it down. They don't want reforms, but they believe that everything is radically, you know, racially institutionalized, injustice, this and that. You've heard all the mantras. But I would also point out that on the Young Turks, Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur, I mean, this is a lot of the stuff in years past that they were going along with for a while. They were going along with the wokeness. They were going along with the BS. And now, once their own policies and their own virtue signaling comes back to bite them, that's when they finally realize that, the ideology and the things that we were going along with, that doesn't actually work. Because that's the only way that it's gotten to the point to where, you know, you have Palestinian protests all over the colleges. You have it in DC. You have Antifa. You have BLM. I mean, this has been supported for years and years to get it up to get to that place to begin with. So yeah, this nihilism, this anti-Americanism, this burn it all down. This is what the left has been supporting for years and years, claiming Trump was the bad guy or America is racist. All the grifters, all the people on the left, this is what they pushed. And now you have the grifters or people who actually believe it above, basically telling all the young gullible people down below that this is really what's going on. And now they've created an army of people, more or less, that absolutely just hate this country, who've been radicalized, who've been polarized, who have just been brainwashed, more or less. And yeah, these are the people running the show in a lot of places. These are the people who are going after Anna Kasparian for pointing out the homeless because they have an inverted sense of morality. But who let it get this far? Who let it get this far? Who went along with it? Who helped push the message? Who, supports any of these groups to begin with in years past? It was the left and people like Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur on the Young Turks who have now strayed away from that. But folks, don't forget how we got here. So I'm glad Anna Kasparian is calling this out because this madness is just going completely too far. You know, immigrants over Americans, defund the police, everything's racist. Folks, nothing will survive from this insanity. But let me know what you think about what Anna Kasparian has said, and leave a like if you're enjoying the video. Let's get back in.
So that nihilistic nature, I think, leads to a lot of really bad ideas and terrible behavior online. And that's pushing people out, pushing people away. And you look at places like Los Angeles, for instance, right? Or Cook County, which is where Chicago is. I paid very close attention to Cook County and what the election results were going to be in Cook County, because you have an influx of migrants going to Chicago, right? You have a lot of anger among the Black community in Chicago because they've been nickel and dimed by their local government.
It's crazy.
And at the same time, their mayor, Brandon Johnson, is doling out the cash for migrants and justifying it. And so they're angry. And so I'm watching all of this happen, and I'm just like, Democrats need to wake up. Mm-hmm. Because more and more voters feel like they're being abandoned by the Democratic Party, economically speaking. And everyone got mad at me. Everyone's like, oh, you're anti-immigrant. I'm not anti-immigrant. I'm not anti-immigrant.
Immigrants built this country.
Yes, my parents are immigrants.
Yes.
Okay, I am not anti-immigrant. But I do have a problem with the Biden administration neglecting the border, pretending like there wasn't a migrant crisis at all, allowing these municipalities to be inundated with migrants without any federal resources to deal with the problem. And what? We're going to pretend like that's not going to cause electoral harm? Of course it is. So when you look at places like LA, there was an 11-point swing toward the Republican Party.
Yeah, Cook County, Brandon Johnson, he tried to pass, what was it, like a $300 million property tax increase after saying for the longest time that he would never do that on the citizens of Chicago in order to help pay for the migrants. Like, think about that, folks. That is how far the left is willing to go. They are willing to tax you into oblivion to pay for non-citizens, people who illegally came into the country, asylum, whatever you want to call it. No, I'm not going along with that. BS. People who are just walking across into America and they're rewarding criminality and you're paying for it. This is the wokeism. This is the nihilism. This is the anti-Americanism. Like, they just don't care about this country or this place at all. They really hate this. They really do hate this country. And they show it with their actions. I mean, I don't care what they say. They do it every day when they prioritize every other single, migrants, Ukraine, anything else over ordinary people trying to make it in this country. And this is what's happening to the point that, when they're going to defend homeless people attacking, Anna Kasparian and others, they're finally going to turn. They're finally going to see how crazy these people really are when all of a sudden that they are willing to turn neighbors against each other, essentially. I mean, it's crazy. The far left has gone so far that, as she said, 11-point swing. 11-point swing. That is huge. I mean, California did shift a lot to the red. The wokest state that there is, in my opinion. And now it's finally starting to look like maybe California is getting some sense. But yeah, these policies are a detriment to everyone, and I don't see how anybody can support them. But I'm glad to see that finally the tide is possibly turning. But folks, thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought Anna Kasparian had to say, along with Glenn Beck, about the woke left and how absolutely destructive they are on society. Let me know what you think about the woke left and if that's hurt your life at all either. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Take care, and I'll see you folks on the next one.